So, as a community manager in general, in the roles that you've had anyway, how much technical knowledge have you had to have when it comes to, I'll call it digital technology? How much
Yeah,
ability have you had to have it as part of your role?
that is such a. I wanted to talk about this because a big part of community roles, especially like bigger companies, is metrics.
Mhm.
Metrics, engagement metrics, churn metrics, our month over month, what's our year over year. It's a big thing, and a lot of companies will make their decisions driven solely on metrics, which is not. I have a very strong opinion about that and have watched communities be just completely destroyed because of metrics based decisions, because it's very hard to capture metrics around a happy community. Like it's not just about UGC, user generated content. That's a big part of it, or engagement. That's a big part of it, but there's more to it. So all that to say, you have to know your way around a spreadsheet, and then it really depends on um, which organization you're working for, or whether it's your just your own company, like what programs they use. So every company I've been at uses similar but different programs. So I would say you need to be pretty tech savvy, or I would say it's not tech savvy, but like digital software savvy. So like the SaaS softwares. I mean, Slack obviously is a pretty common one anymore, but things like I'm trying to think. So we use barometrics for a lot of our backend metrics. And keep in mind, SBI Pro is a paid community, so we're tracking more that we're tracking who canceled and like dollars. But we're more. I mean, and that's something we look at, but we're really looking at engagement stuff. The back end of Circle, some engagement stuff. It's there. I think they're going to hopefully add more. I always would rather have more things that I don't look at than yearning for things, but I definitely have a wish list that they know they know about. I think we all have the same wish list. But yeah, so I think it's less important to be just know all the programs and all the things, and just more be the kind of person that is naturally curious and willing to poke around and figure things out, because you're gonna start using programs that you don't know, and so you'll need to learn how to use them on a level that works for the role. But also you need to be able to walk people through troubleshooting. And I'm sure, as we all know, there's you join a community, you join a new platform, there's the person who just doesn't get it, and it's for whatever reason they didn't grow up with it, they've just never been into, it's just not intuitive to them. I mean, I feel that way about Samsung phones. I can't figure out how to get the screen to turn on. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm so used to Apple products, and you think I would figure it out. At least I say that, but maybe I'm not. I want to say I'm of the generation, but maybe I'm too old.
I don't think it's got anything to do with
um,
age. There's some things I can't figure out.
no.
An IT background. I've got years in the sector.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we all have our thing, but I mean, a big part of my job is supporting community members. So if somebody has a question, they know like I'm the person to come to. I'm the person that's going to respond, and it's part of my job. And so, like right now, we created a new billing system, a new backend system for people to pay for Pro and just have more flexibility with how they pay and all this kind of stuff. So it's not built into Circle. It's something we built added on. So we sent emails out. Hopefully you saw them. And, there's this process. You have to log in and do these things. Well, so I'm getting tons of messages and emails where people are having problems. So I have to have the savvy to figure out what's their problem and how do they fix it. And whether it's we get on a call and screen share, or I do screenshots, or I just, explain it in text, depending how complicated it is. So you have to, I think, like having the natural inclination to be that person. So another example is if I am having an issue with a program I use, whatever, I'm going to go search the internet. I'm going to check the help section. I'm going to try to figure it out myself. I'm not, my reaction isn't to email support and be like, fix this for me, you know? And so I think that's kind of that's a one way to look at it. Like you should be the find it out yourself person, like before the like call a helpline. You are that you're going to be helping all those people that don't look for it first, or that do and still can't figure it out. So I think it's more just a mentality of like being willing to just get in there, try, and then sometimes like with that member stack stuff with our billing, I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna send Mindy in to save the day because she's our automations expert and she built the site, she built it. So she can better than I can. But yeah, I think just being like willing and aware of different programs. As your goal is somewhat this new community platform that I mean it's the best one I've seen on the market. There's others that are similar, but yeah, I think at this point with community create, being an active member of some sort of communities and knowing how it all works is probably the most like tech skill. One of the interview questions at SPI was, "What online communities are you an active member of?" And that's a great filter question to see if like this is the kind of community or if they vibe with your kind of business. Because I'm like, oh well, I'm on Reddit. I'm a member of CMX, which is a community, a community, and like all these things. So like they immediately know like, oh yeah, she does the online community thing. She gets it.